Whose phone is this? They got the.
Probably recording. I think it's a PR.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
What's it mean to make another Pro Bowl?
It's an honor. It's one I definitely don't take for granted. It's tough to do year after year, and so it's just means a lot. Shows your consistency. Shows what your peers and the people around the league think of you, and definitely have to thank the D line and all my teammates for helping me be here for sure, because they keep me clean, and I'm grateful.
11-3 team, only 2 Pro Bowlers. Do you feel like that number should be higher?
Definitely should be higher. But I feel like they hate our own team a lot because we're in the Pacific Northwest, and but we have a lot of amazing players on our team that deserved a Pro Bowl. Hopefully, it's a situation where nobody gets the goals because we're doing something a lot better than the Pro Bowl.
What's the Pro Bowl experience like? What are the perks for players?
I think you get to be around different guys. You get to be around different players, kind of pick their mind, and obviously going out to Florida, being able to fly your family out, being able to get away and have the league pay for your family to go out and celebrate. But a lot of it is just being around the guys, being around people that think like you and things of that nature. It's pretty cool. The one that I remember too was when I think Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher was out there, so you got to sit down and talk to some legends and pick their brains. So I think a lot of it is being around legends, being around the guys that are playing well, and trying to find ways to expand your game.
You wish it was still in Hawaii? You wish it was still in Hawaii?
I like Florida. I feel like Florida, it gives people a little bit more to do. Last time we went to Hawaii, it was in Turtle Bay, so I'm not a surfer, so it was either eat or play football out there. I heard sharks in the water, so I'm definitely not getting out there. So, Then I think like the next couple of days, it was like, I think it was like the high tide, so you saw surfers and the waves was like just beating everybody up, and we do that enough in football. I'm good.
When it comes to Arizona, how do they look different now with the personnel they're using versus earlier in the year?
They're a little bit more 11 and 12 personnel. Earlier when we played them in the season, it was 10 personnel, so they did a lot of receivers. I feel like Murray is definitely, got a little bit more confidence, running the ball a little bit more, figuring out a little bit more what he wants to do. And then the running back that they added is pretty good too. So he's definitely added a different dynamic to their team.
Drake, what has he brought that's different than what they already had?
Just the way he hits the hole, the way he sets up blocks. They're trying to find him in the screen game. He just brings a different energy, and it's cool to see.
He also said that the Cardinals are more apt to add different things to the game plan every week or show different looks. What does that mean for game day as far as feeling them out and recognizing those things?
Well, you just have to be prepared. They have they run a lot of different things in multiple personnels, but they always have 1 or 2 plays that you haven't seen on film, and you don't know when they're going to run it or what it's going to look like, but you have to be prepared for it. But I think if you read your keys and do your job, I think it'd be fine. But they're going to have that wrinkle. I feel like every team has that wrinkle, so it's not anything that's abnormal. They just tend to do a little bit more than other teams.
Are there ways they challenge a defense now that are similar to what Baltimore does?
Not really. 'Cause I feel like Lamar Jackson is a different style of runner. They're doing like QB power. They're pulling people with Lamar, but Murray they're kind of just doing read zone and maybe bringing extra tight ends to block. But so they're not necessarily designed runs for Murray. It's more like reading the defense and see what they're giving you. But Lamar, it's like it's a QB power. He's getting the ball and he's following his blockers.
You got a couple runs against you guys in week 4. What were those?
Against
you guys?
Who were we playing? Week 4.
Arizona.
Kyler Murray did.
He got a couple runs. There was a QB draw in the red zone that I think he scored a touchdown. There was a tight end slice, which basically the tight end falls back, and he's kind of basically the same thing. He's still doing the read zone. So it's different forms of read zone. One was the tight end came. One, the back was offset away from the tight end, and he's reading that in on the line of scrimmage. And then the other one was they motioned it empty, got everybody out the box, then they did a QB draw.
How are you doing physically, and any concern whether you play Sunday at all?
Physically and mentally, I'm amazing. I'm improbable / questionable. So we'll see.
Pete also was saying earlier that they've had to use you maybe in some different pass coverage situations a little more often this year than in past years. I guess, how has that been for you?
It's been an adjustment. It's been we've ran a lot more coverages than we normally do, but I mean it's part of the game. It's growth. Try to do what you can for the team, and whatever helps the team, I'm always for it. So it's been a process, but I've enjoyed it.
Where do you feel like you've been forced to sharpen your skills and stuff that you maybe haven't done in years prior, to where maybe you feel better now in week 16 than you did in week 1?
I would say we probably run a little bit more cover 2. Everybody knows that. I think Larry Fitzgerald came up to me during the game and said why we were running so much cover 2. Because there was a lot of bodies on him, which I don't know why he don't expect us to have a lot of people on him. But I would say that would probably be the main thing.
All those plays from the first Arizona game you just mentioned, is that because you just watched those on film, or could you recall those off the top of your head?
Yeah, I can recall them. I know where they're at. I got a photographic memory, so.
So plays from games that you haven't just
watched
on.
I'm not a McVay. You're not going to ask me. I'm not going to ask me what I ran in 10th grade. I'm going to tell you exactly hash and all that stuff. But I got a pretty good memory.
You just mentioned Larry. Do you have any thoughts of if this could be the last time you face him or not?
Man, I don't think it is. He still looks amazing. Still playing at a high level. I want him to do whatever's best for him and his family, but. He looks like he's playing some really good ball at a high level, very smart. So I would be surprised if he doesn't keep going. But if he does, it's always been a lot of respect on this end, a lot of love on this end. And, I hope we can keep hitting him a couple more years.
Would you say he's one of the most universally loved and respected players in the league that you've had the chance to play against or with?
Yeah, he's just a great guy. The play that stands out to me was, I think it was like 2014, 2015, they ran like a sweep play, and he had a clean shot on Sherm, like right in the side of his helmet, and didn't take it because he knew that Sherm wasn't going to make the play, whether he blocked him or not. But, some players would have took that shot and possibly could have hurt him, but, he's mindful of not trying to do something like that to hurt a player. And, when I saw that, I gained a lot of respect for him. And then obviously when you get to know him as a person, what he represents, how he treats his teammates, family, people in the organization, you just grow to have a lot of respect for him.
With less experienced people in certain positions on the team, does 11-3 surprise you, especially with all the closeness of the games?
It don't surprise me because I think everybody wants to be great. Everybody comes in the season expecting to be great. You see the players that you forcing to play with and how special they can be. So if everybody is on, the mindset and on the right page, we can be successful. If anything, I would be surprised that we don't have more wins because there was a lot of games that we didn't necessarily play our best and we won, but we learned how to win, and I think that's the most valuable thing that you can do is learn how to win in different scenarios.
Are all the close games a good thing for learning how to win, or does it ever take a mental toll or anything that all these games kind of go down to the end? Or
I think it's fun. I mean, you blow a team out, you have to sit on the sideline. That's not fun. When it comes down to the last second, it's fun. I think it's you stay engaged. That's where you get your confidence. You grow your confidence, as you get to the end of the season, get to the playoff run, and you have those games where you're down like 10 or down 7 with like 2 minutes left, and when you've been in that situation so many times, you believe in yourself, you believe in your team that we're going to pull it out. So I think that's what you learn the most from those situations is having the confidence that you don't have, like you have as much time as left and you can win the game no matter what's on there. Because we've had some pretty crazy wins these last few years I've been here.
When Pete was asked about all the close games, he mentioned the word poise and pointed to you and Russell in particular. Just how important in those late game situations is making sure everybody's in the right kind of mindset to handle that?
I think it's really important. I think kind of what I was saying is there's a lot of young guys that haven't been in situations, so their brain is kind of going crazy and they thinking like, all right, these last few minutes have to be different than what the rest of the game was. It's these plays are a little bit more significant, but they're still the same plays that we were seeing. They're not going to change their whole offense for the last 2 minutes of the game. So it's just kind of getting everybody to relax and recognize the formation and just make your plays when they come to you. And I think that's just, everybody just need reminders, and that's what I feel like me and Russell are.
Earlier in your career, did it feel like you got stressed out in those moments, or you kind of thought that the same thing that you were trying to tell other players that that's not the case?
Nah, because we had a very confident bunch of people that I played with. So when I looked to my left and I saw Sherm, I looked back and I saw Cam and Earl, everybody had this look on their face that we knew we were going to win. We just didn't know how it was going to turn out. We didn't know who was going to make the play to get us back into the game or whatever. So I think that's the thing, too, is like having that. Sometimes you got to have that look, that belief that everything's good because somebody's looking at you to see if you panicking or not panicking. And, feel like if the leader's not panicking, you shouldn't panic.
When you do pull out those wins, is there a moment of this great relief, or is it like, hey, this is kind of what we thought was going to happen?
It depends, you know what I mean? If it's one of those games where, we were up and we almost gave the lead away, then from a defensive perspective, it's not always a great feeling. But when we're, like, down and the defense is able to change the game and help us win, it's there's excitement there. There's, definitely growth there because you can do it. And so it just depends on how the game's going.
NFC title game when you were down 16-0 to Green Bay, did you know you were going to win, you just didn't know how, or was that one of those?
Yeah, that was a know it because, if you look at how the game going, we were just it was a lot of unfortunate events that was happening. There was a couple picks, but we were, Sherm gets a pick right back, and, we had a couple of our first drives started in the in the red zone against Aaron Rodgers, and that's not really a person you want to be starting the drive in the red zone with. And so we had confidence in Russ, we had confidence in our defense, and I felt like as soon as we ran that fake play, it kind of changed the momentum. Once we had the momentum, it was over. And that's the presence of just doing your job. When we got that the kick, the guy didn't do his job. He left and tried to do something crazy that he hadn't done all year. We recover the ball, get it, and then, Curse ends up, making a spectacular catch.
Was that maybe the most shining example of belief, winning that game the way you did?
Yeah, I think that was one of our better ones for sure. But again, we had a moment like that before. I think it was Tampa Bay. We were down 21 at half and came back. I feel like a moment like that can set up a moment like the playoffs because we've done it before.
What type of growth have you seen in Puna and Rasheem this year?
A huge growth. I feel like Puna's definitely taking a step, especially as far as the intellectual side. He's got a lot smarter. Rasheem has matured a lot, and you see them making plays. Puna making plays in the backfield, Rasheem getting sacks and forced fumbles and things of that nature. So I'm excited for those guys and hoping that they can keep that up and take it to another level.
Have you seen Murray develop as a passer from week 4 to now, and have you seen their passing game overall change?
I think he's got more confidence. I definitely feel like he knows where he wants to go with the ball. I think they've helped him because I think they get him out of the pocket a little bit more to move him around a little bit more. But where I've seen him kind of grow the most, honestly, is running because I feel like beginning of the year he was kind of just running to outrun everybody and get out of bounds. But now he's cutting up the field and trying to see how many yards he can get and how many people he can make miss. And so we have to be mindful of that.
Anything else?
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Happy holidays. If I don't see y'all on Christmas, right?
I see you.